Hey guys, you're watching Grooves and Motivation Live, and I appreciate all of y'all. Appreciate all y'all chiming in already. I see some folks already joining in the chat. What's up, Charles? Be Willock. Who is that? I don't know who. I don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna call you M. Sean Lewis. Listen, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna groove and we're gonna talk about just going for it. All right. So stay tuned. All right, so let's jump right into this thing. I had just this is gonna be real short. I say that I'm gonna try my best. I got my timer going. I'm gonna try to keep this short. And another reason I'm gonna try to keep it short is I want to help the analytics of this video. I think my long content sometimes with these live talks, as much as we all enjoy them, I think that hurts me in the long with the long form content sometimes. So we want to see if YouTube will show a little love if I shorten this video up a little bit more. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. I had this groove I was playing around with, and I was gonna jam to it a little bit this morning. So if you got your bass out, we grooving in the key of E flat. So yeah, we're gonna be grooving E flat. And so I see y'all again. I see you chiming in. Be sure to let me know where you're watching from. Zion, Illinois is in the building. Manduro Holdings. There you go. I had it wrong. I thought it was something deeper than that, but I was trying to read it fast. Got you. Good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. So here we go. Let's jump into this groove. I hope y'all hear that all right. It's there. It seems like it's just really low though. We're gonna rock with it anyway. Y'all hear that groove? Do y'all hear it? I don't want to be out here playing. Y'all don't even hear the groove that I'm playing in the background. So let me know. Give me a thumbs up or something and let me know you can hear that groove. You know, my early people, like y'all gotta be my sound check people. Let me know that you hear that groove. What's up, Rodney? Y'all hear that groove all right? Had time to grab a snack and cut the bass on monitors in the basement. I need this today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Charles. So the groove sound, that's what I was thinking. It seems like it's low. Let me see if I can do something about that. Okay. Got you. Y'all know how it goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. I'm trying to figure out like why is it not louder? It actually sounds great to me. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not coming through. Give me a second. Some people saying it's great. Some folks are saying it's low. We're gonna see if we can find a happy medium. Give some more people time to get in here. I'm gonna have to put some applications out there for a sound tech. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna have to just rock with it. I don't know why it's so low, but I'm gonna rock with it. All right. So let's try this. Let's try this because it's gonna bother me if I know y'all are not really hearing it like I'm hearing it. It's showing off the tones of this. All right. So all right, we'll keep it going. All right, I got you. I see y'all. Like this groove feels so good, you just gotta stay right there. Uh, okay, I gotta get the rhythm of it. You can get away with that one note thing sometimes. Let the groove do the work. I gotta stop. That's one of them grooves you could just let it sit right there. We'll ride all around Atlanta and everywhere with that groove. So good morning, everybody. I see the comments. Charles is giving a master class on Ghost Notes. Look, man, it's one of those feel good grooves. Appreciate that, Sean, talking about the tone of this bass. Uh, Robert, good morning to you, man. Rodney, I see you. Dalton, the bass tone is killing. Man, thank y'all, man. I really, really appreciate that. And this bass tone, I've gotten a lot of great feedback from this bass tone. I was after a specific thing, and I talked to Mr. Scott Serene about when we were putting this draft out for this bass a couple of years ago. Like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going for. And he pretty much knocked it out the park with this one. And the more I play it, the more I'm growing to understand it, to feel comfortable with it. As much as I played it, it's like it's still a learning process for me. I think that is for any instrument. You got to really spend a lot of time with it to really start understanding that instrument and it to start growing on you. Now, some instruments, it seems like they never grow on you, but certain ones is like, all right, you start feeling at home with them. And I've said many times on this live broadcast, like my Warrior Isabella bass, I'm probably the most at home on that bass because I spent the most time on that bass of all my basses. And I had a 6-string Warrior before this, and I was pretty at home on that bass too. So those two basses are probably the most comfortable basses for me. And now this one is coming up like to be like the one that I'm like real comfortable on. I'm getting there. I'm like not all the way there. I'm like 90% in terms of at home. I'm still kind of navigating my way around it though. All right, so BE says I actually got a chance to jam along. Yeah, man. Hopefully you had your bass out all that time. There was plenty of space. Teddy says sound great, man. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'm teleworking at home and rocking to the groove. Yes, sir. Come on here, Rodney. P. Santa Boogie says, what does everyone think about okay, yeah. I ain't even dealing with that right now. P. Santa Boogie. Andre Colson says, "Good morning, bro. Sounds good, groovy. Appreciate that, man. So listen, my little talk is short and sweet, short and to the point, and so I just want to encourage you guys to go for it. Like and I'm trying not to drag this out, but yeah, it's something that's I kind of live by this, so to speak, and it's one of those things. I have a lot of people over the years that I've known. If you've been around here more than today, then you already know where I'm at with this. I got a lot of people that I've known over the years who were amazing in some regard or another in terms of what they do. Now, talking music, these are some amazing musicians over the years, like that we were talking about doing certain things, regardless if it was me or not. They were talking about doing certain things with their music, and some of these cats checked out of here early. And well, I say early, they checked out of here young. You know what I mean? They checked out of here, and you thought they would have had more time because they were so young. And a lot of the ideas that we discussed never got recorded. You know, the records that they were working on, that record, I'm gonna put my stuff out and I'm gonna do this. It never got released, and it's just, and I guess one of the things that kind of remind me of it to even bring this up today, just this week, not that this person that I'm referring to is one of the people that I'm mentioning, but it does bring it home. You know, phenomenal musician, was a good friend of mine at New Birth, my New Birth days, and Brian Carson. Some of you guys might know him or know of him. Phenomenal organ player, probably one of the coldest organ players I ever heard before in my life, hands down. And I don't just say that because of this circumstance. I've always told him, and I've always told other people, like, this is like probably one of the coldest organ players that I know. But he passed away recently, and it just brings home that, like, dude is like a year older than me, and it's like you think you have more time to do this stuff. And I just mentioned his name to just pay respects to him, but just to bring home a point to you guys, is like now is the moment. You don't know if something is going to work. And here's something I was even doing this morning, because there's a venture that I'm about to kind of enter in right now. And I was doing some research about some things this morning, like going on YouTube and getting reviews about this, that, and the other, and getting people's opinions about some other things. And I almost talked myself out of it based on other people's opinions that had absolutely nothing to do with me, and their experience has absolutely nothing to do with mine. But I almost talked myself out of a decision that I had made, that I was going to do something, listening to other people. And they weren't even talking to me, you know what I'm saying? But just hearing these other people experience with XYZ was like, oh man, well, I might need to stay away from that, because this person said this and that person said that. And it's like, that has nothing to do with you. Your experience is your unique experience. And just because it didn't work for someone else, or just because somebody else had a bad result to a particular thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a bad result to this particular thing. So I think it's super important for us to, with everything we got, to go after whatever it is in our heart to do. That's good. You know, there are certain things that I talk about all the time. God has placed certain things, I think, within all of our hearts. We're put here on this earth to do a certain thing, and it's up to us to make that happen. You know, it's up to us to totally see what that is, seize the moment, go after that thing. And if you don't know enough about the subject, do some research. Try to network, try to figure out who you can connect with that knows a little bit more about that subject, right? And then when you get with those people, pull all the information that you can. I've made a habit now. I used to not do this when I was younger. It was just ignorance on my part. But now, it's one of those things, when I speak to people and I know that they're going to add value to me when I talk, chances are I'm going to have my phone out. It's not because I'm texting, but I got a whole notepad in my phone that's full of notes. And so if somebody that I deem as valuable is saying something to me that's worthwhile, something I need to really remember, I might have them repeat it. They say that again, I'm gonna write that down, So I'm talking to random people now, or it can be random conversations rather, and I can draw inspiration from a conversation that I'm having with someone that gives me another inch that I can take in my journey towards something that's leading me in a path of success. So I encourage you to do that. Even when you talk, you just never know. Never underestimate the information that you get from anybody, for that matter. That doesn't necessarily mean take everything people say and go run with it. No, assess the information that you're getting from the people that you listen to, and see how much of that you need to hold on to, how much of that you need to hang on to and actually do something with, or how much of that you need to just completely just let go and just turn it loose and like, you know what, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Again, a wise friend of mine said many years ago, eat the meat and spit out the bones, right? So all that being said, if it's something you don't know, find out, like listen to somebody that knows a little bit more in that area than you do and see what you can take, see the good takeaways. Now, here's a problem sometimes when people that have a little bit more experience in the area that you're trying to go in, like I said beforehand, some of these people's experiences might have been negative. Well, I don't need your negative information. I mean, life is both negative and positive. Don't give me more negative than you do positive, though, right? Don't tell me about something that I'm asking you about, and you only give me the negative, and you actually experienced some wins in there. But because the negatives were so overwhelming, you don't want to share the wins with me because you want to discourage me from doing it altogether. No, I don't need the discouragement altogether from doing it. Unless it's something that's going to endanger me or put me in just a terrible situation, which with some things, when it's not life threatening, you can't really predict that. Now, it's common sense. If we're driving down the road and you've been down this road 100 times and you tell me, hey, the bridge is out, then I need to listen to you, because obviously that's something that could affect my life. But if it's something like, just say, a business idea and you started it, and just because people didn't support you, that doesn't necessarily mean people are not going to support me. Oh man, I wouldn't do that because, man, people down here, they don't respect, and they don't like, yeah, that's your experience. And maybe they don't respect you because you don't have a good name. Or maybe they don't respect you because you're too passive. Or maybe you know what I'm saying? So even myself, I found over the years, I have to be careful about how I label things and how I label people based on my own personal experience, because something could have been off with me. People might not have vibed with me. That doesn't necessarily mean this is not a good area. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is not the right thing to do. You might not be the best person to do it. You might have to get somebody else to execute the idea. It's a great idea, but you might not be the face of the idea. So figuring out all those different things as we put this stuff together, and see, okay, how can I make this happen? Rather than saying, all right, I guess you know what, I won't do it. I'm taking on this mentality now in my life where I'm like, I can learn from other people's mistakes, and I do, and I have, and I continue to do that. But there are some things when it comes to taking risk that I just got to try it. I got to try it for myself. It might fail, but at least I know, right? At least I know, and I gained some knowledge from actually trying it. And everything ain't based on theory. Once I try it, let's put it in the context of your playing. A lot of people tell me, I just want to start, like different people that come to me for lessons and that type of thing. It's like, I want to start being able to do this. And being able to do this is my plan, and just going, trying some different stuff. And I just want to know how to start, how to get into that. And a lot of times my statement will be simple to them. Just do it. Like, what? Just do it. Like, and it's almost insulting because, I'm Jermaine, I'm coming to you, the bass coach, and this, that, and the other. And I'm expecting something a little bit more profound from you. And this is about as profound as it's going to get. You just got to try it. Because I can give you my opinion and all these different things all day long about, well, if you do this, this will happen, you do that, right? But until you actually put legs to it and you try it for yourself, you're not going to really get the full experience that I'm telling you about. Now, some things you can avoid altogether by using wisdom, but there are some things that you need to just try it. Like, you have this idea that you've been working out in the practice room, like the four walls of your practice room. You might have this idea that, like, you've been working it out for months, and like you've cleaned it up and everything. It's sweet, but you don't want to pull it out yet because you don't think, I don't know if it goes. Like, you got to try it. You have to try it in context of the scenario or the room you're in, the musical scenario, and see if it works. Does it land? Did it feel right when you did it? Like, you don't get those questions answered until you actually try it. Cause sitting back on the sidelines and just trying to analyze everything everybody else does, that doesn't give you a really clear indicator of if it's really working or not, right? So you want to know if the stuff is gonna really work. You got to try it. You got to put it into practice for yourself, and at the end of the day, you got to go for it, right? You literally have to go for it, because that's really how I found out a lot of stuff that I do now, trial and error, and in trying this stuff, in trying to try out different ideas, trying out whether it's a business situation or a musical thing, you start learning different things as you're doing it, and you start figuring out other little ways you can tweak it to make it better while in the midst of it. But if you're still sitting on the sidelines, like, yeah, I have so many people talk to me. It's funny. I have people talking to me about what they're getting ready to do. I'm going to start a website. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm sitting here like, the stuff you're talking about doing, that's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from that. That's great that you're talking about doing it. But you have no idea how much stuff is required once you finally pull the trigger and get started going. You'll see this big thing that you've been waiting so long on actually doing and jumping out there. I'm going to finally jump out there. You're going to see once you finally jump out there, that was the easy part. Because actually doing the thing and keeping the consistency with it and figuring out how to tweak it, and that's the hard part. The actually jumping out, once you finally get enough nerve to jump off the cliff, so to speak, once you finally get your nerve together to do that part, that's the easy part. Okay, I'm off the cliff. I finally done the thing, right? I took a leap of faith. I got into it. Yeah, that's great. Now you're in here. now you're like, let's got the whole thing where a person is trying to test the water the whole time, and figure out if they're going to jump in the pool because the water feels cold to their toe. The longer you sit on that pool edge, that water going to be cold the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in the water, and then you start figuring out stuff about your swimming ability once you finally get in the water. Because as long as you sit there with your big toe touching the water, all you know is it feels cold. That's surface level stuff. You don't know what you're dealing with until you actually get in the water, right? And once you get in there and you start kind of figuring out, oh man, I shouldn't have ate that sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have waited a little longer before I got it. But you don't know this stuff until you get in there and you start moving around and you start finding out stuff. Now you figure out, okay, I need to adjust really quick. I need to do this. I need to make this happen. I need to move this around. I need to try. You don't get those answers sitting on the sideline. There's a verse that says faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. There's a lot of you guys that listen to me. You're believing for some things. You're hoping, and man, I'm gonna do this one day. But the thing is, you don't get to hold the day. You don't get to determine when the last day is. You don't get to determine, how much time you get. So your one day might turn into no day really quick. I ain't wishing nothing on anybody. I ain't trying to scare you, but I'm just trying to impress upon you to like really consider that thing. When you're saying one day I'm gonna do this, one day I'm gonna do it. Like, stop trying to perfect everything before you do it. Musicians, we have a real huge problem with this. Trying to perfect stuff. It gotta be this and it gotta be that. No, it don't. It don't. It just gotta be honest. I figured that out. And I know I'm all over the place, but hey, y'all go down this rabbit hole with me. Just hang on. Right? So it's like, I learned this as an artist early on, because I'm not going to say I was the world's worst, but I was great at discouraging myself and talking down to my own creativity and the things that I do really, really well, and always finding a reason to criticize it. It needs this, it needs that, it got to be fixed. So one of the biggest things I did when I created my first record, The Journey Continues, one of the biggest things that I did there was put the record out. Now, I started and I put out a mixtape before I did the actual record. Hopefully you guys will never hear that mixtape. Some of you might have had it already, depending on where you're from. You might have heard it already, but most of the cuts on there were like demos. And I was like, hey, they were glorified demos, basically. And but the good thing about it, though, I put it out. I'm grateful for the fact that I actually put it out, like as an artist, a solo bass artist. Because for many years I doubted my playing, I doubted all these different things concerning me, and I need to fix this, I need to work on this, and once I get this, I can do this, and once I get that, I can do that. It's like all these things. But I jumped off of the ledge. I put out my first official record, The Journey Continues. And looking back at that record, it's like I appreciate it now for what it is, but there are some things, if I could, I would have went back and like I would have did this different, I would have did that different, but at the end of the day, it's done. So now moving forward, when I do my next record, like, okay, I learned from the first record, maybe I should do this. Even learning from my audience in terms of the songs that they like from me. Okay, that helps me to better to kind of discover what my strengths are or what I need to improve on for the next record. It's like, okay, people kind of connected with that song there. All right, so okay, I like writing that kind of stuff anyway. So let's do a little bit more of that, a little less of that thing there. I really like this particular song. This song was kind of a filler. You know, I feel like even listening to certain songs, and if y'all been following my career for a while as a artist and you've heard any of my records, you know I'll recycle a song in a minute. So it's like, oh man, I feel like I could have went this way with the song. I wonder what it would have sounded like. Like, okay, it's your song, redo it. Give us a different version. People do it all the time. So you see what happens as we move, as we go for it, we start getting different ideas, trial and error. You see what works, what doesn't work, and like let's duplicate that idea. Let's take a little bit away from this thing and tweak it here. Let's add that. Okay, all right, I got it. But again, you don't get any of that on the sidelines. So hopefully that's making a lot of sense to you guys, and I want you to just to really, I don't want to drag this out. I think you got the point. Go for it. Go for it. But I just want you to kind of be mindful and be aware of those things. Like the times that we're living in, man, this is like the greatest time for entrepreneurs, greatest time for a musician that has something creative to do, because you got so many opportunities to get what you do out to the world and serve it to the world. That you got to look up the different ways that you can do it, but there's so many opportunities, free resources available right now for you to do what it is you do, and to do it at a level of excellence, really. If you're willing to put the work in and you're willing to try and get some coaching, get some mentoring, if you need to, about from somebody who's actually done what you are trying to do. I seen a comment earlier. Charles said something. Let me go back and find. He said, "Yes, sir. One of the best gifts you've given me, coach." Go for it. Yes. So like that's one of my students that I coach, and just blown away by his progress over the years. But one thing that I noticed about Charles, just using Charles, if I can, using you for an example, when we do our coaching sessions in between, like we do it once a month. I give just an assignment or some different things that he can work on, you know, between now and the next time for us to get together. But in the meantime, he finds all of this different stuff to work on, and he's digging in, like, and not only asking me questions, but other bass players that he knows and other people that he can grab wisdom from. He's pulling from all these different sources. So now by the time he comes to me, it's like he's way beyond the last time that I heard him. So it's like at this point I'm listening and we're making assessments. Okay, let's do this. And the same thing happened. So his growth is like 3 times what it would be on the norm for the average person, because he's doing 3 times the work. You know what I mean? And then the ratio, whatever, is probably higher than that because of the amount of work that he's putting in, because he's not waiting on me to tell him what to do, or waiting on me to say, hey, oh no, don't do that. It's like he's doing the work. He's going for it. And I'm sure he's making adjustments. And I can hear it when we have our meetings that he's made adjustments based on, okay, these are the last things we talked about. Yeah, I remember you said do this. I remember you said do that. And then when I was in this situation, this happened. And I remember you said X, Y, and Z. So I started doing this. And then I thought, hey, what if I do this? And so it's all these different ideas are coming. So now when we get back together, it's like I'm just able to expound on some of these ideas that you've been personally digging in and getting. And so it speeds the process up. So getting the help that you need and doing the work continuously, it speeds up the process, and it slows. It kind of kills the learning curve for you, where it would take you 6 months to do something. You can cut it down in about 6 weeks, right? So anyway, I can go on and on with this, but at the end of the day, y'all just go for it, man. Life, on a more serious tip, life is not promised. Life is not promised, but it's not promised that you're gonna have all these other days. Next week, next year, some of y'all planning family vacations for next year, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna, if God wills, you're gonna do it, because there's no guarantee. You know, my friend that started the month of October out probably had no idea that he wasn't gonna see the end of the month. So again, you just want to consider this stuff while you're sitting there trying to make these decisions. If I should, if I shouldn't. Let me tell you this: half of the people that you're concerned about, and I'll leave on this note, half of the people you're concerned about, meaning you're worrying about what they're going to say about you doing the thing that you know you're supposed to be doing, half of them folks won't show up at your funeral when you die. And if they do show up at your funeral, they're trying to figure out how long before we can get back there and eat the food in the fellowship hall. And here's the other sad part. Most of the people that we concern ourselves with about their opinion, you probably about this important to these people. Yeah, that's about how important we are. And so you have to leave a mark. You have to make sure that you do something worth remembering. You can't make people remember you, but you can make sure people can't forget about you, by what you do, by the mark you leave, by the standard you set, by what you do here with your time, the dent that you leave in the space. It's like, I want to ignore this person, but I can't, because what they did was so important. I think the thing with Kobe Bryant, outside of him being a phenomenal basketball player, the dude did so much for the game and the people he inspired even after retiring. It's like the mentality. You hear so many people going around quoting Mamba mentality. Mamba mentality is like that whole work ethic, that he created by what he did and the goals that he set for himself and the things that he achieved. You can't not mention him in the conversation. I know we get into the Jordan LeBron debates and all that kind of stuff, but you can't not talk about Kobe Bryant. I ain't even a fan of basketball. Let me say that. Let's put that out there. I ain't even a sports fan. I could care less. But every now and again, I check out some stuff here and there, and I'm aware, but I could care less at the same time. So even for a person like me, like I remember like sitting there just binging videos when Kobe passed. Because, I had seen stuff over the years, but I wasn't into it like that. But I just remember just being just blown away by this dude's work ethic and just his mentality, and just listening to the stuff that he say. When he opened his mouth, he had something intelligent to say most of the time when he was speaking, if it wasn't on a competitive tip, you know what I'm saying? So you can't forget about people who do stuff that's substantial. It's like, as much as you want to, you can't. But what are you going to leave for people to remember you by? Because you're going to check up out of here. I'm going to check up out of here. But what are we going to do that's substantial enough that we leave a mark that people actually remember you by? Even if you have to keep going trial and error till I land on it, till I hit that nail right on the head, what will you do that's substantial enough that people won't be able to ignore you when you're gone? That's my question, my rhetorical question for you. And I'm done. I am done. All right. So, Teresa, good morning to you. Sean says, I'm going for it. Having faith in God and the ability that God has given you will help you go a long way. Absolutely. Absolutely. Charles says, there it is. Better get after it. Listen, that's all it is right there. Get after it while you can. Just like Charles said, get after it while you can. Because that's all you have. Today is all you have. Today is all you have. And I hope that lights a fire up under you, because I don't want nobody else to die with untapped potential. Not if you've been listening to me. I don't plan to. I'm working on stuff right now. Y'all will know soon enough. And I'm trying. I am trying. I'm trying to get it out. Yeah. What is your legacy? That's a great question. What is your legacy? What will you leave? What will you leave? Right? A good man leaves. The Bible speaks of a good man leaving an inheritance for his children's children. That ain't always money. Your good name that you leave for your kids could go a long way. For your grandchildren to be able to use your name long after you're gone, that would be awesome. Oh, you're such and such? You're Jermaine's son? You're Jermaine's grandson? Oh, say less. That would be an awesome thing, because that's an inheritance. to have a good name that's been passed down from from generation to generation, beyond wealth and riches and all this. And I'm gonna leave you a wealth of information, but if I can also leave you with a name and a legacy that's not tarnished, that's not tainted, and you're proud to wear my name as my descendant, that's something great. That's something great. So what is your legacy? I'm gonna end on Sean's question. What is your legacy? All right. So I'm out, y'all. I appreciate you for joining me today. Feel free to share this video. Like it too. If you liked it, like it. Turn on my bell notifications. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Before I forget this, I'll keep you guys reminded. But if any of you guys are in the Mississippi area, I'm finally doing this thing. I am we're getting back on the move. We're doing some stuff. I will be at, let me look at this flyer. I will be at Tupelo Consignment Music doing a workshop on music and money. It's going to be live music. I'll be playing. I'll have some musical guests with me. We're going to be playing, and I'll be doing a book signing. So my 10 Ways to Success book, if you already have your copy, bring it. I'll sign it. And if you don't have a copy, I will have books, and you can get your copy there, and I'll sign it there. But I'll probably have some other stuff as well available there. Some of you guys have been like, man, I'd love to hear you in person. Well, if you're in Mississippi, come out. Tupelo, Mississippi. The date is November the 21st this year, and that's from 5 to 7 p.m. That's a Monday. That's the week of Thanksgiving, by the way. So that's 5 to 7 p.m. Go ahead and call in your sick day if you need to, so you could be there, so you can show up. I want y'all to show up in a big way if you're in the Mississippi area. So I'm really, really looking forward to doing this. This is part of my legacy, talking music and money. What are some of the things that we can do? What are some principles that you can take with you to start taking your career beyond? If you're not following me, by the way, you can follow me on social. It's J Morgan Bass. So at Twitter is J Morgan Bass. Dallas, Texas in my plans. I will come to Dallas. I don't have any connections that I know of over there, so set it up. Get me over there. I would love to come to Dallas. I will come to Detroit. He said, what's up from Detroit? I'll still come. What's up, Kevin? So yeah, I would love to come to Dallas. I've been to Dallas last year. I came to Dallas, was it twice? Once or twice I came last year to Dallas. But yeah, I'd love to come to Dallas. I didn't play. I came over there. I visited shortly. But yeah, I would love to come to the Dallas area and do some stuff. I'm trying to get around. I'm trying to come to all these areas. I need contacts. I need help. We working on the booking manager thing, but right now it's just me in mine. So if you got some way that I can get there, I would love to have a conversation with you. I'm serious. 2023, I'm doing some moving. So obviously Mississippi is where I'm from originally, so that's easier for me to get into that area because a lot of people they know me, they're hometown folks. So if you know people who can make certain connections happen for me, I would love to have a conversation with you and see how we can set that up for me to come. I would love to come do a workshop, book signing, whatever the case may be, there in Texas and anywhere else as well. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know about that. Again, if you're not following me on social, that's J Morgan Bass, J Morgan Bass, at Twitter, at Instagram, and Jermaine Morgan on Facebook. So I'm posting this, the flyers and stuff on my socials, so you can find it there. I try to put one on this YouTube social platform that they got on YouTube. Y'all do me a favor. If y'all see my posts, just like them, because YouTube don't be showing me no love. I'm just going to call it spade a spade. YouTube don't show me love like that. So I need you to engage. If you see something of mine, even if you don't watch it, just go ahead and like it. Make YouTube pay attention to the content that's being put out there, so you guys can see it and when it happens. All right. So anyway, I said I was going to go like 5 minutes ago. I'm really going this time. Much love, y'all. Peace.